Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to America Reignited. I am Nicholas Milonni, and we're here today with a bit of an off-topic from what we usually cover on this channel. We're going to talk about this new film that's coming out from Angel Studio called Young Washington, and they just released a trailer for it here a couple of days ago. It's a new historical film about George Washington when he was a younger man, I believe fighting in the 7 Years' War, or oftentimes here called the French and Indian War. And it looks very, very good, at least at first glance, and I sure hope that when the film comes out, it is very good indeed and garners quite a lot of attention. So we're going to talk about it here briefly. We're going to go over the trailer really, really quick here, and maybe talk about just what a film like this can do and what its importance is. So let's give this trailer a watch here. It does look very, very good. You really got to give it to him. And as someone who's a big George Washington fan, as I personally am, a film like this is very exciting to see coming out. So we're going to give it a quick look here and see what we can make of it here.
What happened, Washington? All those bullet holes in your jacket. How are you alive?
I don't know.
You have no military service.
And it's just around the bend.
You are a boy. You are not British, yet they send you to speak for them. So that when you fail, they'll have someone to blame.
Young Washington, you lost in the New World.
Who does own this land, if not the one who has the will to tame it? You do not want to start a war.
So what do?
We fight!
Hold your ground! There is no retreat!
What are you called?
My name is George Washington.
Help us make this the #1 movie on America's 250th. Pre-order tickets at angel.com/250. Exclusively in theaters July 3rd.
Yeah, so you can clearly see it looks very, very impressive.
You have no military service.
It's just, it looks really, really good. It looks really good. And I'm very, very excited. You can bet I'll be one of the first people to go out and see it when it comes out in July. And I also love how it comes out on July 3rd, because of course next year will be 250 years since 1776. So it's going to be quite an interesting year, and they certainly picked a good time to release a film like this. And I think that releasing a film like this is a very good idea. You know, Andrew Breitbart and people like him used to often say that politics is downstream from culture. And if he is to be believed, then culture is of paramount importance. And it's very good and refreshing to see a film like this that actually kind of explores American history, because it's very rare to see a film like that these days. It's a new film that comes out that explores stuff like that. If you do a little bit of digging, as I have, you will come to the conclusion that there really aren't all that many American Revolution films out there. Certainly maybe not as much as you might expect. And it seems like most of them, or at the very least a sizable chunk of them, were made for TV. So they don't really have like the big sort of cinema quality to them. That's not to say made for TV movies are bad. They're not at all. Some of my favorite movies, like the 1979 version of All Quiet on the Western Front, was made for TV, and I absolutely adore that movie. It's a very good movie. But you oftentimes, in order to garner a lot of attention, you really want that sort of cinema movie theater experience for a film. If you really want it to make a big impression on people, oftentimes that's what's needed. If it's on TV, maybe it doesn't garner quite as much attention. So this is very exciting to see a film like this. I'm very, very excited to see what it has to offer. I am a bit familiar with some of this history myself, so I'm sure that I'll be, when I go to see it, I'll be keeping track of, uh, how everything looks and how it holds up to real historical scrutiny. But the only thing that concerns me here is that the trailer for another movie that I saw a few years back, called Napoleon, starring Joaquin Phoenix, also looked very good, and we all know how that one turned out, right? So I'm a little concerned that, maybe something similar will happen here, but I certainly hope not. And because it's made by Angel Studio, I have at least the slightest little bit of hope that perhaps it will be very good. So I'm real excited for it, and I think it'd be great to bring some real American history back into the American culture because we don't really have much in the way of that these days, at least as far as new stuff is coming out. And if you want to get younger folks like myself, I already care deeply about the country, but many folks don't. If you want to get more people like us involved in the country and its culture and its history and its politics, maybe you ought to release more stuff like this so people really care more about it. Heck, maybe you delve into other forms of media as well. I know animation is very popular, particularly animation of the Japanese sort is very popular with folks my age. And you don't exactly have to do it in that style, but maybe you do something in the style of sort of like an American take on Japanese animation, kind of like if you've ever watched the Castlevania series on Netflix, for example, based off of the Konami video games. A style like that covering like the American Revolution, a series like that would be awesome. And I would love to see something like that. And if you perhaps put your attention to the right forms of media with the right sort of content, maybe you can get a lot more people interested in American history and, you know, what America is and all of that important stuff. So I think this movie has a lot of promise, and I think that it's a fantastic idea. I'm really excited to go and see it. And so long as it doesn't turn out like Napoleon did, I have good hope that it'll turn out rather well. Because you got to understand, I mean, that movie, if you've already seen it, but they turned Napoleon into like a wimp in that movie. First of all, Joaquin Phoenix was not a very good cast for him, and in every scene he sounded kind of like weak. Um, if you contrast it with Rod Steiger, who played Napoleon in the 1970 film Waterloo, for instance, which obviously came out way, way before, over 50 years before, he really sounds like forceful and he speaks with authority and he sounds like a leader. So hopefully we see something similar um, to that in this sort of film where they really do well with the casting and the actors. And so far, I mean, it looks pretty good, I would say. So I have a lot of hope for it, and I'm very, very excited to see where it all leads. And I hope to God that it is good, because as a fan of George Washington, this is the kind of stuff that I like to see, and I'm really excited to check it out. So I recommend that you go see the film when it comes out, just because really I'd like to see more films like this. And maybe if it does well, who knows? Maybe they'll even make a sequel to it covering future events in George Washington's life. And it'd be very cool to see stuff like that. I would just absolutely eat it up, and I know many other Americans would as well. So I just wanted to give a brief little video talking about this. I very much care deeply about it, and it's great to see some real American history come back into American culture. So thank you all for tuning in, and thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you.